We'll go first to Jason Beck from MLB.com.
Hey, Tram, thanks for doing this.
Hi, Jace. How we doing?
Good. Kind of wondering, in all your years in baseball, have you ever had something quite like this? Not just with the, coming here to coach for Dad. I know you've done that before, but just with the whole situation between summer camp and then what you guys have tried to put on with the alternate training site in Toledo.
Well, if you put it that way, absolutely not. Nobody's seen anything like this. This is they're going to be writing books and history books and obviously chapters. Again, man, this is like no other. But whether or not I thought this was going to happen, and make it this far, I definitely had my doubts. But we're already in almost mid-September. I do believe we're going to make it. There's going to be playoffs. The Tigers are in the playoff run, if you can believe it. And but it's been a strange year to say the least.
Gardy has talked, and I think Al has talked about it too, about the challenge of trying to get innings and games down here every day because you guys just don't have enough people. How creative have you guys had to be? And are the rumors correct that you and some of the coaches have had to take part in some of these games?
Part of that is true. I have not. But yes, we have had multiple coaches playing most of the time, and Mike Hessman being one. And he's a little closer to game shape than some of us others that are a little older. But yeah, just to make it, we've been creative, very creative. The staff has done an outstanding job. But just to get 9 people out there. And so sometimes, when we have the team goes on the road, when the team goes on the road, there's a taxi squad guy, so we lose a few players. And then for a little while with the starting pitching, we lost a lot of innings there. But now we do have a few reinforcements, so that's been helpful. I know I'm not there today, but I believe they have 7+ innings today. The other day it was 6.5 innings. So that's a little more realistic where players are getting 3 and 4 at bats opposed to just 1. And so, again, we're doing the best we can down there. I give them a lot of credit. The effort has been outstanding. And as I mentioned, the coaches have done a good job of being creative and making sure that we're changing it up and keeping it somewhat fun.
How has the transition for Spencer Torkelson gone to third base so far?
It's been very well. The third base play has been very good, to be honest with you. I think you saw little glimpses of it in July when he was up there. But now that he's got more innings, I've said it. I'm going to say it again, and I've told him this many times that we can do the best we can to simulate the game situations and game speed, but it's not quite the same as a game. And so getting ground balls during the game is what we're looking for. Well, you can't create that. You can't just script that. You got to be ready. And so when balls have been hit now, he's gotten a few, and he's made most of the plays, to be honest with you. So that's what we're looking for. But he needs some seasoning. He needs some games. He needs, a minor league season where he gets that under his belt. But he's been very good. The hitting wise with everybody, it's been hot and cold. That's kind of how baseball is. You're going to go like the Dow Jones. You go up and down, and hopefully we're trying to even some of that out with him and some of the other players. That's baseball. And I've said it again before, but for them to get this experience has been invaluable. And so I believe that him and some of the other guys, it's going to help their development go a little bit quicker.
Gardy was referencing this today, just about how with so many infield shifts, going on at the major league level right now, that there's an adjustment period for infielders when they come up. And it hit me the other day that I think when after Scope had gotten hit by the pitch, 3 of the 4 infielders had started the year at the alternate training site. How much of it, how do you guys go about preparing players for the amount of shifts that go on now, especially up at the big league level? And how much different is it than even just 5 years ago?
Well, it's a lot different. There's no question. And just to be honest with you, Gardy and I were just talking about that this morning. because Tom Prince, who's the manager down there at the alternate site, has asked me to ask them a few questions about how do we want to do it. So first thing is that we are working on that, but we're still not doing it enough. We're going to need to continue as we go forward this year. Next year, we get into spring training. And what are the right ways to do it, and how often do you do it? And some of these plays, like in baseball, they don't come up that often, but you have to be prepared for it. So we're trying to do the best we can. It's obviously not enough, but we're going to continue to try to improvise and create these different situations so they're a little bit more prepared. And I think that's the best way to do anything in baseball, is just be somewhat prepared. The shifts have thrown a whole nother wrinkle into this. And so, again, we're covering things, but not as much as maybe we would like. But the only way that you do that is over a period of time. But we've talked about it. We're doing it. I've got some information for him tomorrow when I get back to Toledo. And I'm sure over the next few days, we'll be working on a few more things down there.
Great. Thanks, Tram.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jason. We'll go next to Matt Shepard from Fox Sports Detroit.
Morning, Tram. Good to see you. Willie Castro, could you talk of what's impressed you most about the way he's progressed offensively and defensively?
Yeah, I mean, offensively, he's been outstanding. There's no doubt about it. Him and Candy have been our two hottest hitters. And defensively, I know he's been bouncing around. And when we had him in Toledo, he was playing very well. And there's going to be a few hiccups. They're not finished products by no means. We all should understand that. And so we like what we see. I do believe that he can handle it, and hopefully, over the next couple of weeks, he's going to even improve a little, more. But the fact is, there's no substitute for getting the reps and getting game action, and that's what he's getting. So that's a good thing.
You worked so hard with him on his throwing. Has that? It needs to be more consistent, as you've told us. But is that something? Go ahead.
Well, I haven't seen him now for a couple of weeks. I've been watching on TV, so I'm going to get a 2-game glimpse if he's playing. I'm assuming he's playing the second game. I do not know the lineup in the second game, but the fact of the matter is that part of it, and not to make any excuses, that he's been bouncing around a little bit. I think people think that these guys are robots. That we just let's plug them in over here and everything's fine, and let's move them back over here, and there's some adjustment period. So I know that's sounding like an excuse, but those are facts. And I just want to make sure that I point that out.
All right. And lastly, for me, can you give me a clean hunting story with Gibby? Since he and I went hunting for a pheasant yesterday.
To be honest with you, the hunting part, there really isn't for me. I've only went hunting with him once, is deer hunting. And that was years and years ago. And it was more at the end of the season. And we were just going up there having a good time. I'm not a hunter, but, they dropped me off like at 5:30 in the morning, and they said, Tram, go over here by this tree. I sat there for hours and saw nothing. And I thought, what am I doing? This isn't fun. So I always, bust their, thinking, because they're all into it, and I get it. I don't know enough about it. But that was my one hunting story. I didn't see a deer. I sat out there forever. It was freezing cold. I didn't have much fun, so I'm not sure I'm ever going to try it again.
All right, thanks, Tram. Good luck.
Thanks, Shep. We have time for a couple more for Tram. We'll go first. Evan Petzold for the Detroit Free Press.
Hey, Tram. Nice to meet you virtually. Looking to know a little bit more about what it's like for you just to be here. I know you've done this in the past, but to get a chance to do this, it's got to be always, a little special for you, huh?
Well, it is. I mean, you're on a major league field, and that never gets old. But just being on a baseball field, I'm comfortable, and I've done this over the years. I've coached first base over the years, in a role. Again, it's been a few years, but I understand and I know what to look for. I'm going over as we're talking. You're interrupting my session. I'm looking at a little film on some of the pitchers and their moves, things like that. That Gibby would be proud that I'm going to that next level, just to have a little more information. Obviously, they're going to help me, and positioning and things like that. We've got other staff members that are going to help me in that regards. But yeah, I'll be paying attention and on the shifts and things like that, directing guys, directing traffic. Hopefully, they know where they're supposed to be. But if not, that'll be my job to move them.
And similar to the question on Willie Castro, what's your thoughts on Isaac Paredes and his development that you've seen?
Well, I think we're happy as an organization that they're getting the playing time at the big league level. There's no substitute. We all started, and I remember years and years ago when yours truly, was nervous and got the call and now you fast forward and it's like I never made an out, never made an error, and that's not true. We all know that hey, they're human beings. So you've got to start somewhere. So with Isak, we're happy that he's here. I know he came out like a gangbuster initially, and the game has humbled him a little bit with the bat. That happens. What we don't want is that to carry over onto your defense, which I don't believe it has. But those are the kinds of things that we preach, at the lower levels, that, you separate offense from defense, and that's just the way it has to be. So, unfortunately, that's part of baseball, the hitting part, the highs and lows, they're more volatile, and hopefully he's going to weather the storm because we like his approach. You've seen in a short glimpse that he can hit, and he will hit. And I'll stand by that as well.
Awesome. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Evan. We'll take one more for Tram from Ted Colfan of the Detroit News.
Hey, Tram, good to see you again. Hey, a couple of quick ones. First off, what are your thoughts on this particular Tigers roster? I mean, what have you seen in this season? And secondly, the fact that they are on the outskirts of a playoff chase, how valuable can this experience be for some of these younger kids?
Well, to answer just the last part of that, I think it's great. They're in the race, whether you like it or not. And I'm listening to some of the people talk about the Tigers, and obviously after yesterday's performance, you know what you do with that? You turn the page on a game like yesterday.
Yeah.
I know it's not what you're looking for, but they did win the day before, so I will leave it at that. It's one of those ones you flush, you turn the page, you move on. And they've got, a couple big games here with the Cardinals, who are in the race in the National League Central. So it's great experience. You can talk about it all you want, but you got to go out there and experience it. And, the one thing that's missing, obviously, is the fans to get that adrenaline going a little bit more. But, hey, this is what we're dealing with this year. Again, just going back to the roster and the way things are, this is a season unlike no other. And if you look down every team's roster, there's been an unbelievable amount of changes. And that's just the way it's been. So for us, it's been a good experience for some of our younger guys. How they performed so far, some good, some haven't performed as well. But, that's all part of the deal.
Can I ask you one more quick one, Trey? How about Riley Green's progress down in Toledo? What have you seen from him down there?
Yeah, I don't want to, I'm not speaking for Al Avila and the rest, but when people start saying that, and I saw something this morning that was sent to me that we called him up, that's not going to happen, guys. So that's just guys and gals. He's still developing. That's not part of the deal. He's doing quite well. I will say that this is a kid that's ahead of the curve, so to speak. And again, this experience that he's gaining this year is invaluable, but he's not quite ready. Let's just leave it at that. But he's a fine young man, and he's played very well down in Toledo.
Thanks, Tram.
Thanks, Ted. That's the last question we have. Tram, thank you for your time this morning. We appreciate everybody joining us, and we'll see everybody after